Currently, we have the steel structure going on or going up, and it's a beautiful sight because now you can see the full makeup of the building, the framework. I mean, it's massive. You're talking about 3 floors, 27,000 square feet, um, 12 classrooms, a kitchen, a, a library, um, office space. It's just a wonderful building that's going up, and then the architecture. Rao is doing such a has done a wonderful job when it comes down to the design, and then just the way that it complements the athletic center. We pretty much have raised all of the funds for it. There's some um, government agencies that we're trying to tap to finish it up. That's what my wonderful wife is doing. I don't think funding is going to be an issue in the end. It's basically right now we're in the process of just picking colors and tile and this and that, and so it's just a wonderful. The Clay Street side of Daly Gardens, because there's Jowite Street and Clay Street. So the Clay Street side, we're in process of putting up 4 buildings. We're going to do that side and then transition our Jowite tenants to Clay Street, and then demo those buildings, and then start building the Jowite side. That's a project that I'm just thrilled about because that's going to bring housing to the community. We're going to have 77 units, so that's one of the largest, so far largest projects in Easton. Yeah, so that's the Polaris Village Early Learning Center. That project has been going on for about a year and a half now. That's the restoration of that Mount Pisgah Church that was there that we lifted up, built an entire new foundation. Downstairs would be the dining hall slash multi-purpose room. Would have a full-size commercial kitchen with walk-ins and everything. Upstairs would have room for classrooms for 40 kids. So we basically turned that old building into something brand new, and we had to stay inside of the historic district's codes and requirements, and so therefore it fits the character of the neighborhood. And one thing that we were able to do is again get solar on that building. So therefore, that takes care of at least 70, 80% of the utility costs. The students will be in there from 5 to 7, from 7 to 5, and then they will, either stay for the dinner or not with their families, as their families can come and eat dinner with us while they're picking them up. Then what we're going to do is invite the community, everyone, to come by and have a meal with us. It'll be one set meal, whatever the chef feels like having that day. It should open in around, I'd say, the springtime. South Street is, I get a good landmark for South Street, is right behind Rise Up Coffee. South Street has really turned out to be a gem. We purchased South Street from Tim Miller, and South Street was supposed to be something else. And then we said, hey, this would be a great place to transition our kids from the BAAM center that we demolished over here and have them stay there until the BAAM Center is finished. So we renovated one side of the structure. That was where the old Knights of Columbus side was. And so we renovated that And now that's where the Polaris Village Academy kids are. We have them from 3 years old to second grade. The place is wonderful. It's warm. They enjoy it. They love coming to school. When the academic center is open, and when the early learning center is open, South Street would become a full daycare facility. It'll be our 2-year-olds and above facility, because that project, it was to me, it was a win-win-win for everyone. That project was to have 162 units, the 6 buildings nestled in the woods, so no one was going to be able to see these buildings. They're inside of almost a community of its own. We went to the Board of Zoning and Appeals. They then referred us to Planning and Zoning. They said, please get a letter of recommendation from them and get their approval. So we went to Planning and Zoning. Planning and Zoning gave us a 5-0 vote, gave us a 4-1 vote on giving the letter to Boza. So at that point in time, we were like, great, we're pretty much past the finish line. And then what happened, the residents of Hunter's Mills is where they just decided they wanted to shut down the project, disrupt the character of the neighborhood. So with that said, the Board of Zoning and Appeals, they have a set criteria. And let me go back to exactly what we were asking from them, because there's some miscommunication going on. In order to build a multifamily unit in the town of Easton, you must go through the Board of Zoning and Appeals, okay? And it's called, and they need to rename it. They call it a special exception. But it's nothing special about it. You have to do it. So when people say, oh, well, he was asking for something special, there was nothing special about it. It's something we had to go through. So there's a 2-step process. And that is, you have to go through Planning and Zoning, and you have to go, in our case, the Board of Zoning and Appeals. There's another process that you can go through, which is more expensive and more, it didn't really apply to us because we were able to go the quote-unquote easier route, and that's going through a PUD, a Planned Urban Development. And that's where you have to get approval from the town council, the county council, and all of that to create this development. So by right, okay, we had the ability to build 5 units, multifamily units, for every acre we have. We have 65 acres. So if you do the math, it's 65 times 5. We only asked for 162 units, okay? And by right of the zoning, R10A, we should have been able to, and Planning and Zoning agreed with them. The staff, town Planning and Zoning staff agreed with us, okay? It was just that when Board of Zoning and Appeals received all of that pushback from the Hunters Mills resident and some Matthewstown residents, it became more of a political event versus a factual event. Right now, we went and we put in an appeal. I wouldn't say, we went in and we revised our plan, okay, and we were rejected again. So we're going to go ahead and sit down again with the town staff and just figure out what we can do. It's become more than just a project. You're talking about a situation where right behind you over here on Rails to Trail by Rise Up Coffee's warehouse, you're going to have, and they approved, the planning commission approved, 100 plus units over there. There was 100 on Elliott Road by, by Elliott Road, right near us, right down the street from us. They approved 136 units. For them to say to us that we're changing the character of the neighborhood or the area is hard to believe, because you have these developments that are there, and they said that some of the code or ordinance that they have, we didn't adhere to, and it was like, well, if we didn't, why didn't the town staff tell us? No, the town staff said you fit the ordinance. So now you have a conflict between the actual political body or the and then you have the staff.